Hey guys, welcome to our Digging Deeper video for the week of May 1st. Our Sunday assembly was the last Sunday in April, but this is the week of May 1st. So we talked about the book of Deuteronomy on Sunday. The title of the message was The Next Generation. The book of Deuteronomy was the last will and testament of Moses, and he spent some time reminiscing in the first few chapters concerning where God had brought them over the past 40 years. And then he spent the bulk of the book recording his instructions, commandments, laws, requirements, expectations for the Jews as they prepared to go into the land of Canaan under Joshua and as they actually went into the land of Canaan. And then there is a song and the record of his blessing and cursing upon the people, and then the record of Moses' death at the end of the book of Deuteronomy. And the theme that I kept finding throughout the book was, hey, you guys got to do better than your parents did so that the next generation will not fail like your parents failed. And it certainly was implied you don't need to fail like your parents did. But he was assuming, I believe by inspiration of the Holy Spirit, that they were not going to fail. They were going to go into the land and they were going to conquer Canaan, which they did in part. They did not experience complete and full victory. We talked about how the story of the Jews going into the land of Canaan really is a spiritual lesson for us. Canaan land represents the life of spiritual victory for the Christian today. And there's certainly many truths that we can get as examples to us from the failures and the successes of Moses and of Israel under Joshua. Sunday, I talked about how if we're going to prepare the next generation to follow God, then we have to love God genuinely, obey his commandments faithfully, treasure his word sincerely and diligently, teach the Bible to our children constantly and consistently, and commit to God's revealed plan and purpose so we can confidently conquer every evil opposition. And those strategies will position us and equip us best to prepare the next generation for success. So I hope you got to listen to Sunday's sermon, and I hope it was a blessing to you. So for digging deeper, I've got 4 questions that I want us to consider, and hopefully these will be helpful. If you need to pause the video so that you can answer each question one at a time and you won't have to go back and hit replay or write them down. First question is, what are the greatest opportunities right now and ahead for the next generation? So whether you're thinking about, 10-year-olds or 20-year-olds or 25-year-olds, once they hit 30, they start, at least hopefully, taking control of things. But for those who are not yet there, those who are teenagers or a little under or a little over, what are the greatest opportunities right now and ahead for the next generation? And you can think in terms of technology with the new development of artificial intelligence, which is going to revolutionize the world. I truly believe that, and both positively and negatively. The people that are becoming adults right now are completely comfortable and familiar with this global perspective that you and I didn't grow up with. We didn't grow up with the internet, cell phones, all those personal computers, those kinds of things. So we're still in the process of seeing what the impact is of all this technology that we have these days. But what are the greatest opportunities right now for the next generation and ahead? So you can talk about that, or you can keep listening. Second question, what are the greatest hurdles and obstacles that the next generation has to face? Whether it's financial, certainly that's a great possibility, or government control, limitations on our freedoms, And you can think worldwide as well. It could be persecution, could be themselves. If they're growing up spoiled, then maybe that's the greatest hurdle they have to overcome, is getting beyond the entitlement mentality and so forth. So what are the cultural hurdles and so forth? What are the greatest temptations? This is number 3. So you can talk about number 2, or you can keep listening. What will be the greatest temptation of the next generation? What will be the greatest temptation for the next generation? And, perhaps it'll be to give up when things get really hard, or if somehow the world continues to become more affluent, maybe that will be the greatest temptation. So what do y'all think about that? What patterns do we see in history that we can use to kind of anticipate what's next? So how do we warn the next generation concerning the temptations? And then here's the 4th question, so you can talk about that or continue listening. What can we do to inspire, help, warn, prepare, and assist the next generation so as to contribute to their success? I don't think it's helpful for us to just, talk about the good old days and, oh, we wish, these kids could see what it was like. It's not that that conversation is completely irrelevant, but we need to get past it quickly and get on to, okay, but this is where we are, and we don't see it going backwards, to where it used to be anytime soon. So how can we help the next generation to succeed? So that was the mission from Moses to the Jews who went into the land of Canaan. Get it right for the sake of your kids. Certainly for your own sake and for God's sake, but for the sake of your kids, get it right. And how can we get it right so that our kids and grandkids can succeed in the eyes of God? So hopefully that's helpful, and enjoy your discussion.